I'm going to show you some of the options for setting up your exhaust fan for your grow tent. Here you can see I'm running the exhaust tube going out of the tent. This is going out the back side of my tent, and then I pull it tight so it doesn't have no air leaks in the back side of the tent. And then next I'm going to need the filter, which right now I forgot to put the pre-filter on, which helps keep any of the big particles of dust or anything out. And here on the side of the fan it has arrows so you can see which way the air is going. So we want to pull air through the filter, then through the fan, then up through the exhaust hose. And here I'm using aluminum tape to help hold stuff together. When it's sitting like this, you really don't have to, because gravity's holding everything together, but this just makes it a little bit better seal. We get a little bit more pressure out if you're really cranking up your fan, trying to move some airflow. Next, we just need to plug in the exhaust hose here. And you can run the same setup on the outside of your tent. You just need to flip the fan over. That way it's sucking air out of the tent, then through the filter. The air goes through the filter last. Now if your tent runs really hot, you want to have the filter closer to the ceiling so it's sucking the hot air out of the grow tent. But if your tent's not getting hot enough, go ahead and suck the air out of the bottom of the grow tent. That way it leaves the heat in. And this is your quickest, easiest option right here. You don't have to hang the fan or filter or anything. And it makes it easy just to move around. It all depends how much floor space you have. Then you just have your two wires here on the side. One's your electric wire for your voltage to actually turn it on. And the other wire goes to your control box, which I prefer to run up the side of the tent, then over the top, then through the front of the tent into the controller. And here you can see where I forgot to put the filter on, so we'll put this on quick. Then we'll move on to the next setup where we're going to be hanging the tent from up above, which does give you more floor space, but you just can't raise your light as high if you have a light that takes up the entire grow tent. So it depends what kind of plants you're growing and what kind of light you have also. And now we're going to move off into the hanging from above. What I like to do here is put a couple little zip ties up on top. It just makes it easy to connect the fan, and it makes it easy if you need to just take it off or move it or do whatever you want to with the fan. And on the AC Infinity fans, it has this big bracket on it, so I just hang from the bracket here. Then once we get all finished, we can tidy it all up and make it look a little bit nicer and pull it up a little bit higher to the ceiling. You'll see all that when we get done. But for right now, all the extra wires will just be and cables will be hanging off the back side of the unit. And this option is best if the tent is actually gets too hot, because we're going to suck the air from the top of the tent, and we're also going to shoot it out of the top of the tent. And when you're doing that, you want to make sure you open a vent down towards the bottom, so you're moving the air from the bottom of the tent up through the top of the tent so you're getting good airflow. Then on this one, we actually remember to put the pre-filter on before we try to hang it, so we're going to put that on here. And also, before you get all done, make sure you go around the whole tent and shut up all the extra vents you have, so you can make the airflow go in the proper flow that you want it. Here I'm going to show you how to put this strap together to hold this filter on. So you come in from the back side, then you go down through the top, and just make sure you get all the kinks out so it moves nice and freely. So we're going to install 2 of these now on the top of the tent, and make sure they have no binds or twists in them, so it goes together correctly. Then we're going to pre-adjust these. I'm trying to guess how high they need to be for the filter. So once we slide the filter in here, it makes it easy to install into the side of the fan. So the airflow for this setup here, the air is going to be going into the filter, then into the fan, then out through the side of the tent. So I pre-adjusted these here, so hopefully we get this lined up about right. Just makes it a lot easier. Then after we get this adjusted and put on the side of this fan here, we'll put a little bit of aluminum tape to help give us a nice tight seal. I use this tape for all kinds of stuff in the grow room. It comes in very handy, and it's a very, very strong tape. I just pick it up on Amazon. You can also pick it up like any hardware store, Lowe's, Menards, Home Depot. Then for the tubing here, I started out by putting it in the side of the tent just to help hold it in place, and I tighten it down. Then I'm going to slide it on the side of the fan here. So this is the exhaust side of the fan. Then we'll put a little bit of aluminum tape on this, and finish and adjusting everything a little bit. This hanging from the ceiling is a little bit more work than on the floor, but it just helps keep everything a lot tidier, and you're not getting a bunch of extra dirt on the pre-filter. And just finishing up pulling everything a little bit tighter and pulling everything a little bit closer to the ceiling, just getting it all adjusted in, tucking all my extra straps in so it's just not hanging everywhere. Then all we have to do is plug it in.